This is it. This has got to be, hands down, one of the best tripods I've ever used in my life. It's so light and compact. It's the Manfrotto B3 3-way lever tripod. Now, let me tell you why this is so special, but before I do, I'm going to be fully transparent here and say that Manfrotto did send me this tripod to try out, but they don't get any say in what I say in this video. They haven't seen this video before it's been posted or anything like that. And there was, no contract signed or anything like that. It was literally, if I like it, I'll make a video about it. And I like it a lot. Suddenly it's quite bright. Let me just close that blind. So what makes this tripod special is that it's for both photographers and videographers, which is really cool. You can set your camera up on here and you've got a full-on fluid head system, which works really well for the tilt as well. It's brilliant. And then if you want to, twist this and then suddenly you're in portrait mode, which is so cool that now I've got a fluid video head system that does portrait as well. I've been looking for something like this for so long and it's fantastic. I've used a lot of tripods during my time as a videographer and photographer. My last tripod was the one that I'm actually still using. It is the Manfrotto 190X Pro paired with the Manfrotto Fluid Video Head. But there are a few problems with that setup that the B3 tripod solves. One is having the ability to shoot from landscape to portrait. With social media nowadays, I'm shooting everything twice, going from literally filming it in landscape and then filming it again in the exact same way, but portrait. And doing that with the Fluid Head is just not very fun because you have to have a camera cage, so then you take your plate off and then you have to switch it to the other side of your camera and then flip it and click it in and then you can do it again, and it's just, it's not a quick situation and it's not very fluid. Even though it's a fluid video head, it's not a very fluid way to do it. Now, I know obviously the fluid head that I was using was kind of made for bigger cameras, like for example the FX6 or something like that, but still, I was using it for that and it was annoying, but I just had to live with it until now because this thing makes it so easy. The second thing is that it's bulky and heavy, whereas this tripod compacts down to literally this size and it goes in a suitcase, it goes on the side of your camera bag and it's light and it's just phenomenal. That doesn't mean that this tripod is bad. This tripod is phenomenal. This is a fantastic tripod for like a studio thing, but for traveling, it's a bit of a nightmare. This is fire. So I'm not saying you shouldn't get a bigger tripod because they are so useful, that it's so sturdy and it's great for things like long exposures because it's definitely not going to move anywhere. But it's nice to have something for like at home and then something for traveling, I think that maybe that's what I'm trying to say. But if you had to pick between one or the other, because these things are quite expensive, I'd probably go for this one because it's just does most of what I would ever need it to do. Doesn't do everything, which we'll get to, but it does most things. And you'd maybe think that because this is quite a light and compact tripod, that, a gust of wind is just going to blow it over. But I took this to Portugal and I put it on top of a cliff. I had no issues at all. It's so thin that I think the wind just passes through it, if that makes sense. The legs can go completely flat, so you can get really low to the ground, and then you can just level it out with the levers. Whilst I was in Portugal, I wanted to capture as much content as possible, and, that's a mixture of landscape and portrait, and using this just made it so fast, so stress-free, because, if you're shooting a sunset, you haven't got time to be taking plates off, moving it onto other parts of your cage, flipping the camera, and trying to, do all that during a sunset. It just, no thanks. Unless you have 2 quick release plates. But I don't. So, this was just done. It was great. Also, the way they've designed this fluid head is really cool as well. So the way you compact this down is you flip this bit down like that. This lever here has this thing that you unclick and then it folds down, which is really cool. And then you lift the main bit up, tighten it down, and then the legs just come all the way up. And there you go. It's completely compact in a little thing. Now, is this the perfect tripod? No. There are two things that are letting this thing down from becoming the ultimate tripod. And those two things are that there's no quick release plate, which is really sad, and you can't do top-down shots. I don't know what that's called. When you bring this bit, I'll show you a clip where you flip the middle bit over, flip it down, and do a little top-down shot. You can't do that with this. Those two things are the only two things that I don't like about this tripod. You can get quick release plates that you just attach, and then you've just got like so I might do that. I might get a quick release system that you just attach to this, and then at least that's one thing out of the two. But then I guess if I wanted to, I could put this head on this tripod, and then I've got that. I've got a C stand as well, so it's not really that much of an issue for me. But those are the two drawbacks that I would say really just held it back. The main one was there's no quick release plate. Going from only ever using quick release plate tripods to having to tighten it, that was not great. But I really do feel like as a whole, it makes up for it just because of how compact, light, and just amazing this thing is. But yeah, no quick release plate and no top-down situation. Other than those two things, this is nearly perfect, in my opinion. I think this is fantastic. If you are looking for a tripod, if you're new to this, if you're looking for a tripod that does pretty much everything for photos, videos, portrait, landscape, this is it. Even if you're not a beginner, this is the best travel tripod I've ever used in my entire life. Hands down. I'm definitely going to use this as my main tripod from now on. I guess if I need anything a bit heavier, then I can just switch the heads over, which is really useful. I don't know if you can buy the head separately. I'm not sure about that. I don't think you can. You might be able to. I'm not sure. I don't think you can though. That would be cool if they did that. If you do want to get this tripod, check the link in the description. It'll be the first link. And if you enjoyed this video, why not subscribe? We hit 2.5k today. Here's a little screenshot. Sorry if that's a bit flickery. But yeah, that's crazy. 500 away from 3k. Like, what? What? Follow me on Insta and TikTok, links in the description as well. If you want to see any of the cool shit I got up to in Portugal, then definitely go watch my last video. So yeah, I think that's everything. I'll see you next week.